friends. Hope you are doing well. I am Bindu. Let us recall. What is the atmosphere? The atmosphere is a thin layer of gases that surrounds the earth and is arranged into various layers. That is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The air around us is composed of gas molecules. These molecules are constantly pushing each other. The push effect they exert together on any object is described as air pressure. Let us now continue and understand more about the topic atmosphere from class 9th Social Studies. Learning outcome. You will be able to know what is air pressure, pressure belts, different types of winds, and the Coriolis effect. Keywords: geographer, an expert in the study of the physical features of the earth and its atmosphere. Solar radiation. Solar radiation refers to energy produced by the sun, some of which reaches the earth. ITZ. The low pressure region around which northeast trade winds and southeast trade winds converge is called the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITZ. Coriolis effect. The result of Earth's rotation on weather patterns and ocean currents. Let us check the concept map for this topic. The pressure of air increases if there are more molecules present. This usually happens on the surface of the earth. So, the earth pulls most of the air molecules to its surface due to its gravitational pull. When gas molecules are heated up due to the heating of the earth's surface, they get a lot of energy and start moving very fast. This means an increase in air pressure as they will push the object more. However, the energized molecules start flying off higher and higher. When more molecules go to higher reaches of the atmosphere, the places near the earth will have less of them. This means less pushing around or less pressure. That is why geographers say that when it gets hot, the air pressure becomes low. And when it becomes cool, air pressure increases. In simpler terms, if one increases, the other decreases. This is called an inverse relationship. When heated air rises, it starts losing the energy in the form of heat that is got from Earth's surface. When the energy decreases, the molecules slow down and get closer to each other. Air becomes cooler and denser. Dense air starts falling back towards Earth's surface due to gravity. Wherever this cool air descends, the air pressure increases. When any part of the Earth heats up and causes low pressure, it means that there is more vacant space and less molecules. Now, air from other parts where the pressure is higher moves towards this vacant place. They have to only move along the Earth's surface and thus need not go too much against gravity. That is why we say that wind flows from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Pressure belts. The Earth's surface does not heat uniformly. Land heats up faster than sea. The land, which is deep inland, heats up faster than the land near the sea. So, the air above the land gets heated more quickly. Water takes more time to heat. So, the air above the water gets heated more slowly. However, when it comes to cooling, land cools faster and water cools down slower in comparison to land. So, the heating and cooling is happening at different rates in different places. Therefore, the pressures are also varying from place to place. You have learned about the relationship between latitudes and seasons. You learned that tropical latitudes receive the most intense amount of solar radiation and are hotter than temperature or polar latitudes that receive less intense solar radiation. Hence, the tropics are hotter than the rest of the world. So, with temperature variation, there is pressure variation around the world. Just as water moves from a higher place to a lower place, and heat moves from warmer objects to cooler objects. Air moves from areas of higher pressure to areas of lower pressure. When air moves like that, we call it winds. If it moves at a slow pace and we feel comfortable in it, we call it a breeze. If the wind comes in a short and fast burst, we call it a gust. If it moves very fast and blows things around, we call it a storm. Along the Andhra Pradesh coast, we experience cyclones, which are very high-speed winds. Winds are constantly moving all over the world. At the equator, the high temperature heats up the atmosphere and the hot air rises. creating lower pressure at the Earth's surface around the equator. This low pressure belt, it is like a belt around the Earth. It is called an equatorial low pressure belt or the intertropical convergence zone. ITCZ. As this air rises, it cools and starts descending. But it cannot come back from the same path that it took when it went up. As it reaches the higher layers of the atmosphere, the air spreads away from the equatorial region towards the northern and southern hemispheres. As it spreads, it also starts descending. It is cooler, denser, and so starts to sink back to Earth. Where it descends, we find the pressure is higher, and this phenomena is called subtropical high pressure belt. As the air comes down and hits the Earth's surface, it splits into two parts. One part again rushes towards the equatorial lower pressure area. When they get there, they get heated again and rise. Thus, the equatorial cycling of wind continues. The other part is pushed towards the next higher latitudes, where the pressure is lower. Let us understand this. The air in the areas near the North Pole and South Pole is so cold that the air there is at higher pressure, polar high pressure belt, than in the area around the latitudes. Along the Arctic Circle in the north and the Antarctic Circle in the south. Subpolar low pressure belt. So, the polar winds rush towards these lower pressure areas. Normally, we would have expected the winds to move in a straight line from north to south or south to north, from the temperate zone to the tropic zone. But actually, the winds move slightly to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This is because of the impact of Earth's rotation on its own axis. This effect is called the Coriolis effect. Having a zero effect near the equator and a maximum effect near the poles. Thus, the atmosphere is always surrounding the Earth on all sides in circulation. The winds play a very important role in the weather and climatic patterns around the world. More in detail we will see in the next video. So, in this video we have seen air pressure and pressure belts. I hope you liked the video.